All right, what's up, you guys? Dr. Jeff, Rythmia Life Advancement Center. So how you guys doing out there? It's probably a little rough, or maybe not. Hopefully everybody's safe and sound. Everything's okay. You know, at Rythmia, we talk a lot about this movement that is occurring in the world to shift, the consciousness of the planet and get everybody kind of thinking in a more positive manner and connected to each other. And we teach that, once you can connect with yourself and you're actually plugged into who you are as an individual, then you can connect to other people. But it's really hard to connect to other people if you're unplugged from you, or what I call dissociated. So, the goal in life is to reconnect with yourself and merge back with you and have clarity and have consciousness and have awareness. And then you can see things for what they are, and you have like this discernment, and you can't be fooled or manipulated or tricked into things. You can't be sold a bunch of ridiculous products that you don't need, and you don't need government as much, and you don't need pharmaceutical industry as much, and you don't need so-called experts as much. You just need yourself and your community. And that's what we're striving for at Rythmia, to kind of teach people and to help them get back to their roots. And once that happens, then they can connect with their families better, their spouses, their partners, their neighbors, the people in their community, and then the world. So kind of what's happening right now, in my opinion, it's a sad way to have it go down, but because of this pandemic, we're all being forced, in a sense, to look at first ourselves and then everybody else. And the beauty in that is that we realize that we're global citizens, and I talked a little bit about this last week, and we are people that, our beliefs and our behaviors, they affect other people, and it's important to remember that, if I feel empathy for somebody, that means I can tell and I can understand where they're at, and I don't want them to feel sick or upset or hurt or homeless or hungry. I want them to feel good and hopeful. And the best way to achieve that is to first connect to myself and plug into me, and then I can connect to other people and help sort of this movement occur. And we say at Rythmia that light workers and light warriors are the people that come to Rythmia. And what does that mean? Well, that means people that are creating a shift in the world and a positive change in the world. It's kind of like a university to get people, trained and connected, and then they go out into the world, and then they make these changes and these shifts in themselves and in others that they come into contact with. Our vibrational frequency, once it's raised up and it's in a higher level, it can affect things also and bring things up that are in a lower frequency. You can kind of bring them up. And that's a great way to plug into other people and to also see a change going on in the world. It's interesting about this whole pandemic thing is that a lot of us are having a lot of time now with our families. And that's a real blessing because, the way society is trying to break down and destroy the family. It's trying to split us up. Society and, governments and corporations are trying to get us to rely on them for our needs. And that's very unhealthy, and it's not good. And the masses won't put up with that, and we're not. And that's why this shift is happening in the world, where people are really moving towards self-sufficiency and social awareness and social consciousness and helpfulness and sort of love. And that's kind of like, the vibe that's occurring now in the world. And we don't need wars. We don't need people to go hungry. We don't need corruption and genocide, and we don't need all this stuff. That's like super evil, bad vibes, and we don't need it, and nobody wants it. The only people that want that are power-hungry, greedy leaders and, people that just strive for money and fame and just craziness, power. That's not what the world's about. It's not what we want. It's not what I want. I want everybody to be happy, feel connected, and realize their own goals that they have, and not hurt anybody, and just thrive and do really well. One of my favorite musician artists, his name is Linton Kwesi Johnson, LKJ, they call him. He's from Jamaica, lives in England. He's a dub reggae poet, and I went to a live show of his. I was so stoked to be able to see him live. He doesn't do a lot of shows these days. He's a lot older. And what he was saying at that show was, time for your family and time for you is very, very important. It's very important to have, not be working all the time, not be in the rat race all the time. It's time to take time for the family and for you. It's very important. It's very healthy. And the more that we're just working nonstop, we all know we got to work, we got to provide, right? So it's a fact of life. It's part of life, part of living. But the rat race that occurs, that we have all gotten into is like so destructive, because what's really important is not that. What's important is the family and yourself and your friends and your community. And then, of course, that extends out to a global community. It's very, very important, And so what we're hoping you guys are working on, right, in this time of meditation and thought, this time that you have to, be with yourself, it's really cool to be able to sit and just be peaceful, and regroup. And hopefully none of you guys are sick and nobody's losing anybody, because there's a lot of sadness right now too, and a lot of, fear. I'm just saying, look, do what you can to be healthy, and do what you can to, protect yourself and those around you. But just realize that we're all in this together and we're all working towards the same goal. It's just global healing. What's going to come out of this, once this passes, and it will. If you look at China, they had a peak and then it went down. It's kind of going down now. We don't know what's going to come in the future, but, what the data is showing is, it peaked and now it's dropping, right? So if that's what happens in the U.S. and other parts of the world, that we're going to come out of this, right? So when we all get out of this, and we can then cause an impact amongst other people more frequently and easily, because we can contact others and be around people, that's the moment. That's the time, because you guys have all meditated and grounded yourself during these quarantine days, and then you can go out and be strong and really, really make an impact. So light workers and light warriors unite. This is the time to do it. This is the time. Let's get this thing handled. And if you can't come to Rythmia, it's expensive for you, go to our web page, and there's a way to come for free. You can fill out an application and give you a scholarship. It's a great way to do it. Also, if you know somebody that's been here before, if they send 3 people, then they can come for free. And sometimes they give those trips to other people. So that's another nice way to do it. So we look forward to meeting all you guys down at Rythmia very soon. And hopefully it's not going to go on for too long, and everybody's going to get healthy and do what we're supposed to do and let this virus subside and pass like it always will, But this is a thing of things, this is more to this to come, in the future, these pandemics, because it's like when we were tribal, there wasn't a lot of contact with other groups, and people had illnesses, and it kind of stayed there. But now, everybody's globe-trotting around the world. It's a global world. Everybody goes everywhere. So these things spread, right? So this is like a preparation for how we need to handle this in the future. We need to be socially aware. We need to be conscious. We need to be healthy. We need to drop drugs and alcohol. We need to drop bad behaviors. We need, because bottom line is, if you're a heroin addict, or an opiate addict, you're probably going to have a really hard time getting those drugs right now, right? So you're going into withdrawal. So it's just not a good way to be, like you're trapped, And some places like Costa Rica, they stopped selling alcohol. Like alcohol is banned. So if you have a drinking problem, you could die if you stop cold turkey drinking alcohol. Now I'm talking about people that are hardcore addicted. So you don't want to be in that situation where you don't have access to things, that you need because you're chemically dependent. So let's just get healthy. Let's go through the motions and get tapered off of stuff, and let's just get healthy and healed, so you're not a prisoner to outside influences or external stuff. You can just really, really be who you are as an individual, and you can focus and get the healing that you need. So it's time to unite, you guys. Let's do it. Thanks for watching. Dr. Jeff, Pura Vida. See you guys down at Rythmia real soon. I'm in my nephew's room, by the way. That's why Mario's in here. All right, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. Pura vida.